if there were a ladder right here and I had to go up like four steps, my heart would be like coming out my chest. So for a door to open to a plane, I be passed out before we can even get started.
Hey everyone, I'm Chris Colston here with Isaiah Tukes, Kimberly Lake, and Laria Reed, and we are Four Friends in a Book. So Four Friends in a Book is our monthly podcast series where we have a discussion centered around a book that we're reading together, and we meet here for any topics that may or may not relate to that book. So somewhat of a book club, book review mixed with just table talk amongst friends. So we're actually back for season 2. So this is our debut episode for season 2 of our podcast. If you guys are new to the channel, please go back, check out season 1, catch up with us so you can follow along with us. If you guys have been rocking with us for a while, we appreciate you guys joining today, continuing supporting us, and we just appreciate you guys. So we're gonna jump into it. Season 2, we took a little time off for the holidays, took a little time, took a little break, relax, catch up on your naps, your sleep, eating good, all that good stuff. So we jumping back into a highly anticipated book. You all know him, my boy Will Smith, with his memoir, self-titled Will. We all know him from starting off with the Fresh Prince, getting into acting, rapping, Summertime, Classic Kids, Men in Black, all these different movies. We see him and Jada on the news everywhere. So we know about Will Smith, but he actually gives us a firsthand account with this book, Will. And so this is our kickoff book for this year, 2022, and for season 2 of our podcast. So let's jump into the discussion real quick. Let's get into it. So overall impressions of the book. Like, what do you think about this book? And we're gonna come to Miss Lake over here. We're gonna start with her. Kim, what were your thoughts about this book?
I'll say I really enjoyed this book. Now, I didn't read it. I listened to it on Audible. And I think it is one of the best books on Audible I've listened to. It's very interactive. The way when he talks about growing up in church, you hear the choir in the background. He's talking about DJ Jazzy Jeff, DJing. You hear the competition and the crowd cheering. So I think that part of the book was really immersive, and I really enjoyed hearing and listening to him narrate the book. Also, I think it was a really great book because he was just so open and honest. And I don't think he really left anything out. He talked about everything in the book. So I just really thought it was a really great memoir, because that's what the memoir is about, being open and honest about your life. I think the book reflected that. So I really enjoyed the book.
It's good.
Good. Isaiah, what were your thoughts? Like I said, I know, man, I think you were probably the first one to kind of, get started on this book out of our crew. So what were your thoughts about this book?
Well, first, I was super excited when we chose this to be the first book for our season 2. Overall, Will is an incredible book. This book was, like Kim said, it was basically well written. I actually read the book. I learned about Will Smith's story for so long. He strategically, moved through life. And, this book connected a lot of the dots that we didn't know about his life, as his fans. And I feel that, in his writing, he was thinking about how, sharing his own struggles can help others. His tone is a very conversational tone, and he has the ability to be a storyteller because he is a, actor. And so this book was more of a page turner, and then, the other memoirs that, that I read. And I just learned so much about his family, the experiences that shaped him personality. And I just want to throw this out there, that this is basically one of my favorite memoirs. And you know how I feel about the other book that I have read. So that says a lot about, the impact that this book has had on my life.
Okay, look, man, that's pretty big. You putting Will at the top of the list.
Really good book.
Okay. All right, Real. What were your thoughts, overall impressions of this book, Will by Will Smith?
Well, I feel like I'm just coming behind what everybody is saying, and I agree wholeheartedly with Kim and Isaiah because I absolutely loved it. From the first chapter to the last chapter, I was all in. I mean, and I listened to it on Audible as well, and I agree with Kim listening to the different, listening to his voice. First of all, Will Smith is an awesome storyteller. In my mind, I feel like every situation he talked about, every childhood memory, everything, I felt like I was there and I was listening. And in my mind, I could see the row houses that he talked about and being on the street playing. I mean, he was just so descriptive. It was amazing. I really enjoyed every chapter. There wasn't a part where I didn't want to listen. It was, some books kind of go up and down. His book was really steady for me. Some points, of course, I was more interested in, but I really, really liked it. Really, 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 really. It's on the top of my memoirs as well. I really loved it. So I have no complaints. I think everybody should read this book because it lets you know a lot more about him because he is like one of the best actors ever. And that didn't have to do with race. It's just period. I mean, he just is. And yeah, I loved it.
That's good. Yeah, I think you guys all bring up good points. So, we've read, the autobiography of, Malcolm X, and we looked at some other historical figures and just different accounts. I think this memoir is kind of our generation, so it really kind of speaks to us. We all know
it's true.
Will Smith from The Fresh Prince. We know him from his early rap career. We've seen him in all these movies, so it's really easy for us to really our generation to connect with him because something about him, but now you're getting this behind the scenes and like Laria mentioned, he really does just kind of pull you in. Great writer, great storyteller. I listen on Audible as well, so him just narrating the book, throwing in sound bites and changing voices and inflections and throwing in some of his music as well, which is a great experience. I definitely agree with you guys. I think this was a great pick for us to start this new year off. Season 2 also of our podcast. So if you guys that are watching right now, if you haven't already read or listened to this book, please go check it out. Pick it up. It's a good listen, good read, and like I said again, it's something that you could probably really relate to because, like, who don't know Will Smith? I mean, everybody know Will, so like you have something to really connect to, with reading his story and getting that experience. So yeah. So even with that, so I think we got 4 thumbs up from us, 4 friends in the book. But what were you guys, I guess, favorite sections of the book, or what in particular did you most identify with as you were either reading or listening to this story? What really kind of drawed you in throughout the book? And Isaiah, I'm gonna kind of start with you, brother. What were was it a particular moment or chapter or something that was said that really just made an impression for you?
The impression that was made for me was towards the end of the chapter. He was having this conversation with his therapist, and the therapist brought up like he had like that she was able to identify 2 different personas that he actually had, and one was called, the first one was Uncle Fluffy. Uncle Fluffy is basically this nice guy, which is a people pleaser, wanted to avoid conflict, had charisma, could light up any room. And he felt that if he was nice enough and entertained people enough, that he could win the approval for the people around him. And I identified with that as well, too, because sometimes I feel the same way as well. But then you have the second persona called the general. And the general does not care how you feel about them. The general basically wants to get the job done by any means necessary and doesn't seek the approval of people. And I felt that part resonated to me as well also. And, as I grow up that I try to find a balance with trying to be the people pleaser and trying to do things on my own, but do them like the correct way. So that's what I identify with him. Like, I struggle with being a people pleaser as well as well, I'm going to do it my way, and it's my way or the highway. So I try to find that, that equal balance.
Yeah, that's good.
That's
And I think he does do a good job. Like I said, just hearing his story, and I think it's something we can all relate to. It's kind of reminiscent of, we read the book in season 1, Wholeness, and we kind of talk about this evolution,
Yes.
and even some of the stuff with, I mentioned earlier, we talked about Malcolm X and seeing his growth and his journey through life. So you see a lot of that similarities, even with Will kind of starting off with his childhood, and even, it's his current state of showing how he's, mindsets and thought processes, and how he's really, put in work to kind of evolve and heal and grow into a different person. So yeah, that's good.
Right.
Were there any particular stories that you identify with, in particular with the book?
It was a lot, but one that I particularly really liked out of the entire book was his two friends, his manager, and Jazzy Jeff, because they were able to go with him all the way. And not only were they able to go with him, but he had a good enough friend to tell him the truth. He asked him, "What's the goal? What are you trying to do?" And, this is a friend that he's known since he was a kid. So for him to be so intent with trying to make sure that he became the biggest movie star ever, and to tell him, I believe there was one role that he was offered for $10 million, but it wasn't going to set him up for what he really wanted to do. And his friend was his manager, and he would have gotten a percentage of that money, but he told him, "Don't take it. That's not going to be where you're trying to go." And he had his best interest in heart, and just knowing that he had good people surrounding him, which I believe is the reason why he's where he is, and how he was able to get there, because he trusted him. But to have a friend like that, and I feel like I had friends like that. I feel like Kim would do me like that. She'd be like, "No, I think that it would be better for you to do it this way." So it just reinforced what I've been thinking all along. You have to have good people surrounding you, to be able to tell you the truth, and to be able to assist you in whatever your goal is for your life. And I believe, kind of like Oprah said, you can't be friends with people who want your life. And none of his friends wanted his life. Like Jazzy Jeff was a genius in his area. His friend, who's his manager, is a genius in his area. So they were all able to do their own things to be who they are. And so I believe that that was the key to his success. I know he had good work ethic. I know he had all those things, but I think that was the one little piece that was the golden nugget for his success. And that's something that I love throughout the whole book, with him talking about his friends. So yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, even in the book, he mentions, JL is kind of in this managerial role, and kind of managing him, and he's like, "Will, what do you want?" And it was hard for him to really to figure it out, and he finally was able to kind of verbalize that he wanted to be the biggest, movie star in the world. And at that point, once it was said, you got the goal, you got the vision, and JL, and then along with his crew, helped him to really to work towards it and attain it. So that was good. Kim, did you have any particular moments that you identified with or just stuck out to you as you were listening or reading?
For me, it's the dream. Like, Will Smith is a dreamer. And anytime somebody is a dreamer, I connect with them because I'm a dreamer. And so he had the dream, of course, starting out with his rap career. He stepped out and went after it, became very successful at it. And then, as Laria mentioned, when his friend talked about, the dream, the goal with his acting, and he set the goal to be the biggest in the world, and he did that. So for me, that let me know, when you you have a dream, of course, but you have to have the work behind it. Like, faith without works is dead. So for him, he had the faith and the works for his dream, and it happened. So that inspired me to know that, I have a dream, and I believe I have the work as well. So, that inspired me to believe that I can achieve what I want to achieve as well. So I really connected with Will's stories when he was going after his dream and when he achieved his dreams.
That's good. Yeah, for me, it was so many, I guess, kind of moments throughout the book. I mean, even the opening of the book, Will and his brother, they kids, and his father has tasked them to build this wall. And
Right.
they looking like, oh man, it's gonna be an impossible task. We ain't never gonna be able to finish this. And like even the lesson learned in that, where they spending their summers, they weekends after school, like working on this wall to build it up, thinking that it's an impossible task, and actually finally finishing it. And in the lesson that their father was really trying to convey was, hey, you know, don't ever say you can't do anything. Like, you know, you handle it one brick at a time, and eventually you will get there. And you see that work ethic, you know, really kind of unfold throughout his career, and how he really just navigated life, and just really was able to pivot, you know, whether it was from his rap career, you know, to acting, and even getting back into music, also into the family life as well. So just several, you know, good points that I think we can all kind of relate to throughout the book. And even those that are watching right now, if you're on Facebook or YouTube, like put in the comments, like tell us what are your favorite moments within the book. What did you identify with the most? Like what was good that really resonated with you? We would love to hear that, hear your feedback and comments on that as well. So, all right. So look, we give my boy a lot of praise, but you know we got to do it. Like we talk about all this stuff we enjoyed about the book. Oh, is this the greatest book, you know, ever, greatest memoir? Is it really that great? Like, was there anything in the book that you just didn't really like? You like, Will said this, and I just like, nah, I can't rock with that. I was like, nah, Will, I really can't vibe with that. Was there any point whether it was about life, relationships, purpose? You know, we didn't heard about Will and Jada and these entanglements. Like, I mean, he didn't really get too far into that, but was there anything in the book that you kind of just didn't really agree with or disagree with that he kind of covered? Were there any points or areas like that in the book for you? Laria, you wanna talk about?
I mean, I didn't want to just jump out there. It was like two things. Well, relationship. That's one of the things. I think that he has I don't want to say it's a wrong view, but I don't feel that it's how should I say that? Look, I'm trying to say this in a nice way. Let me just go on and say it. Let me just go on and just say it. But I don't. He was just like, you know, I'm not responsible for her happiness, and I think that they went into a marriage with the wrong intent from the beginning, because I don't think you should be responsible for anybody's happiness. You know, it's like that's a result of you being who you are. I am going to be happy, but I'm not going to be happy with you on every situation. But anyway, I just, the way that he thinks about relationships, it just sounds like they're just supposed to be together because they said they're going to stay together as a married couple. But I don't know what that looks like in the long term, because it's like, so we just gonna be together just to be together and do what we do. You know, he didn't go into depth about it, but you know, and it was one other thing that I really did not like, the birthday party that he did for Jada. And he talked about everything that he had done for her. And she was just like, this is the most narcissistic thing. And I'm like, I don't know how, maybe because I wasn't in that situation, but the thought that he put into the birthday party and all the things that she made him cancel everything for all of those people who had come, to me, that was a very selfish thing. So it was just like, I really wasn't feeling that part. That I'm sitting there like, what? So wait a minute. This man did all of this stuff. It's supposed to be this whole weekend for you. And after he finishes the first night, the next day you're like, cancel it all. I don't want it. And I'm thinking, all these people came to celebrate you for your birthday, and you're saying it's very narcissistic because it's more about him than you. But it was about you. He just does things in a big way. And I don't like the way they think when it comes to relationships. I feel like that's rich people problems. Because if any man does anything like that for any woman I know, we'd be like, you know, I still struggle with that. Like, what was that all about? You know,
so yeah. you were kind of in agreement with Will in that area. So you was basically not. So we need to get you on the red table with Jada, and so y'all I can sort that out. You know,
I'm just
I'm
like,
working on
what are
that.
you talking about? You don't like grandiose. I mean, and I understand everybody because it's okay for some people to like, but if somebody's showing you how much they love you, it's gonna be the way they think. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't like that. I felt like it was very selfish because I'm thinking about if I was a guest at her party and I done taken off and I'm there to, celebrate her, and then I just get a call like, oh, everything's canceled, everything's done. She don't want to do no more. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she didn't even know what he playing. That was the other thing. He was like, but I've got, and she was like, no, I don't even want to hear it. I'm going home. I don't want to do this. And I was just like, what? It was crazy. I don't know. Their relationship to me is just really weird. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right. Isaiah, did you have a moment or was there anything that Will kind of touched on that you may not have been in agreement with? Like I said, whether that was just life, purpose, relationships, or anything that, like I said, we've been giving these high praises, but was there anything that you was like, I don't know about that one, Will? Did you have a moment like that?
I kind of had a moment. I don't like to talk about. Well, Will one of my favorite actors, so it's hard for me to criticize. But the relationship that he had with his ex-wife wasn't. I wouldn't say traditional, but it was. It seems wasn't real to me. Like she was always there with their family, but they called all each other family, and they spent Christmases together, and the conversation that they still went back and forth regarding trying to get custody of, I guess, his oldest son Trey. It was like a lot of back and forth that I don't know whether or not in his speech did he still have feelings for this lady. Like L'Oreal said, like the relationship part, it was weird. Like he checked the boxes on the actor and he comedian, he can write and he can do this, but as far as like the relationship part, like
Yeah.
it was weird reading that part of it. Like, do you still like this lady? Is she still always around? Is she still coming over for Christmas? And this lady is married to another man. So I'm like, I didn't see. I was missing a part. Like if just say if I'm married to Will Smith's ex-wife, we're not at the Smith house every single weekend and every single holiday. Like it didn't seem normal to me. But I guess it's their normal. So I had to look at it in his eyes. So that's the only thing that weirded me out with that relationship that he still had with his ex-wife. Like they still was combative in some parts of the book and the way that he spoke with her. So that's the only thing that that didn't resonate with me. So
yeah, I understand that. And even as of late, that's kind of been one of the things that's been kind of contentious, I guess, areas of this whole Will and Jada thing. Is how their relationship is, how it has evolved. The August Alsina things, or the entanglements, even what they're being in a open marriage, open relationship, whatever that may be. So I think that is a piece that probably the average person may not be able to relate to or understand. So I can definitely understand that. And even us as all being fans of Will and Jada, it has kind of, I think even now, like people like, look, we don't want to hear no more. Like, just stop. Like, don't listen to us.
no more interviews.
Yeah.
No more.
Right, none.
No more interviews.
Yeah. Kim, did you have a moment like that where just it was something that Will said, or even within the book, you was like, nah, I just can't rock. I can't rock with that.
It was more so, okay, I love the book, but Will himself was like, it's very exhausting. Like, like when he, like his drive and everything.
Mhm.
And I know now that he's like on his road to like healing and wholeness and all that. But I think the same perfectionist and competitiveness he had before in another way, he kind of puts that in his journey towards healing. So he does like a lot. And like for like say those ceremonies, I forgot what the drug is called that you hallucinate and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he did like 14 ceremonies. Like it's like he still has that drive to be the best, even on his road to healing. And it was just a little bit exhausting for me. So that's just the area I was just like, okay, for me, it was a little much.
Yeah. So, and that's the one thing I can do as we read or listen to the book. You kind of see the evolution of him.
Mm-hmm.
He was really focused about his goals and achieving this fantasy or this dream life that he envisioned, even as a child. So, wanting to be, a big movie star, like wanting to have this picture perfect family, wanting to have this ranch where everyone can live and we can all just, live and be happy together. And everything he put into trying to obtain that, and now kind of seeing that evolve a little bit and realizing that he may have, taken the wrong approach as far as trying to get that. So yeah, I can see that. For me, I guess it was, and I'm asking the question to y'all. So, because one of the things in the book was about how Will introduced Jada to his grandmother. So, basically.
Yeah, that was messed up.
Yeah. So, and I thought that was messed up too. Will was like, oh, it was funny, but so Will times Jason's lyric like perfectly. Of course, Jada's in that movie, and his grandmother is there visiting, and it's about to be her introduction to Jada. But he times the movie perfectly. So as Jada is walking in, his grandmother is watching her sex scene like on TV, and he thought that was like the funniest thing ever. And I was like, yeah, bro, that ain't how you introduce your woman to your granny. That was a bit much. What do you guys thought? Did y'all think that was funny or
no?
That wasn't funny.
Yeah,
I would have been sorry. I probably would have never talked to him again after that. Like we wouldn't have been together no more. I'd been like, what? Like, nope.
Yeah, so it was a few of those moments where you can kind of tell where he got a little twisted humor, or like he just had a different perspective. Where I think he may not be as connected with the people around him, but I don't think it's necessarily malicious. I just think he just, for him in his head, these things are one way, and just he views them differently. But I do think I think he has that personality where he is kind of about trying to achieve and overachieve, and at times I think that could be to a fault. But it, like I said, as you read the book, you kind of see his evolution, his journey, his growth, and I think even now he's kind of pulling some of that back. Even in the expectations he had, he mentioned with Willow, wanting to put her on this tour, and she's like, nah, I don't want to do that. And like you can tell he wanted her to be this star, but he had to realize that he had to be concerned about her feelings and what she wanted, and not only what he wanted. And so I think moments like that where we're kind of eye-opening. Like I said again, I think he now sees, and of course hindsight is always 20/20. So he's kind of made that connection after the fact. But yeah, I mean, a good book. Again, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Hearing all the stories that were conveyed. I mean, even hearing about him writing "Summertime" like in the airport. Like he literally wrote the album, wrote the song in the airport. Just great stories, things that we all can connect with. Great book. So again, if you guys haven't already checked it out, go pick it up. It's a good read to start the year off. And we hope you guys have already reading with us as well. So again, as always, we want to do have you guys read with us and join in on this conversation. So let's switch gears a little bit. So season 2 took a little break, enjoyed the holidays, enjoyed some time, away. So yeah, let's catch up a little bit. So how y'all doing? Y'all good?
Yeah.
Of course.
So how was your holidays? First of all, we're gonna connect with our people. How was your holidays? Did you guys do anything special? I mean, I know we're still in kind of pandemic times. But how was your holidays? Just even taking a break. Did you guys do any reading while we were away? What did you do? I know we had some birthdays. We all kind of winter babies around here.
Yeah, all of us.
I think somebody did some kind of kind of fantabulous they might want to discuss. But yeah, how was your holiday break? How was your time away? Did you guys do any reading? Anything you want to tell our viewing audience or listening audience? I'm gonna hit my boy up because I know he got something to say. Isaiah, what's up, man?
Yeah.
Well, my holiday break was, much needed. And as Chris said, sometimes we need to get that time away to actually, get refreshed, rejuvenated, and get started for the new year. But not only did I celebrate a holiday, but I also celebrated my birthday. So one of the things that we got to do on my birthday was I actually went skydiving. And this was a crazy day for me. It was so many moving factors that I had to even bring my laptop with me because I had work to do. So just imagine me being connected to a harness, sitting at a skydiving facility at a table trying to do work on a laptop. But but when it was time for me to actually do my tandem jump with my instructor, they actually go over the bases with you, and then you head to the airplane. On the ride up, I was just somewhat calm. I could still feel my heartbeat coming through my chest because as you go over, it's time at that point then. But it really did not even hit for me until that actual door came open. And I don't know about you all, but I have never been in an airplane that the door has opened up for me. So when it was time to go, it's not nothing like the movie. It's no 1, 2, 3 jump. When you get to the end, you are just basically pushed out there into the open. But and they do that, but so you won't grab hold onto anything, so you won't, potentially injure yourself. But jumping 14,000 feet from the sky was nothing shorter than amazing. It was basically one of the best experience that I ever could have imagined. And I was basically trying to soak up the moment, trying to soak up the scenery. And I think, Chris, even for you, you shared with me that once you skydive from the air, it is nothing else to fear. You are basically out there in the open, like you are one with nature. Like it is the best thing. It is basically nothing to fear. I was so pumped when my feet hit the ground. But it was truly a blessing that I was able to do it and actually enjoy myself. And even I got this quote even from Will Smith books, like, which is so true that it's the best things in life is on the other side of fear, and that is just basically so true.
That's good, bro. Look, I was looking at Laria the whole time. We've been messing with her. So look, first of all, welcome to Team Skydive.
He's coming on the second one.
These two right here, but
They're coming on the second.
Kim can do it. She can go. I think Kim will do it. But Laria Reed is not. Let me tell y'all something. If I go skydiving, I think I would pass out in the air. And I would pee on myself. Amongst other things. When I tell y'all, I couldn't get on a ladder. If there were a ladder right here and I had to go up like four steps, my heart would be like coming out my chest. So for a door to open to a plane, I'd be passed out before we could even get started. I'm scary. I'm scared of that height thing. Just
we gonna work on you. Like Isaiah mentioned and like Will mentioned, some of the best things in life on the other side of fear. Once you cross that, come on over. Eyes just wide open now, like just.
I'll let y'all tell me about it.
Well, look, the reasons you're
congratulations. I think that's awesome. But see, I want to get my pilot's license. I would like to fly a plane, but I don't want to jump out of one. So I think that counts a lot too.
Okay. Okay. Look, we can take that. That's my thing. Yeah. Well, look, the reasons you're already kind of talking and conveying. How was your holiday? How was your break? How's things been? We catching up with the 4 friends to let the people know what's going on with us.
Oh, okay. Ain't nothing ain't nothing going on over here. I did a lot of resting. We didn't go anywhere. We normally go to Florida every year. But COVID started jumping and popping pretty heavily. So we decided as a family to kind of just stay in our little quarters, and we'll catch back up in 2023. But it was very restful. Kicked off a new ministry The 1st of January, iamrooted.org. You can go and visit there for women's small group Bible studies.
Okay.
So that's what I worked on a lot throughout the break. So I guess I did do something.
You did.
We got that going. And if you want to check out any of that, you can go to our website. Everything is there. I'm excited about it. Our registration has been good. Everything has been amazing. And I'm excited about that new venture. So yeah, if you're female, check it out.
That's good. That's good.
Oh,
So yeah,
that's
definitely
good.
go support Miss Laria Reed and her ventures, outside of Four Friends in the Book. Look, as my boy always called her, she was a media mogul, entrepreneur, all these things. So
And that I'm like, but I appreciate y'all support. Y'all always, Four Friends always supports, and I really appreciate that. That's what we were talking about with Will. Gotta have good people around you. Y'all are great people to be around. And anything you guys do, we always support each other in what we do. So thank you.
wow, that's good. All right, Miss Lake. So what's been going on with you? Holidays, how did you rest? You enjoyed it? Tell us about it.
I had a great break. My break was filled with lots of rest. I love all things holidays, so like Thanksgiving, especially Christmas, is the best holiday. It's 11 months away. It's almost here again. So I love all things Christmas, spending time with family. So we went to Florida. We went to Orlando.
Okay.
We're safe, COVID safe, took COVID tests and all this stuff. But we had a great time down there. So it was it's great for me to relax. I didn't do any reading. I just really chilled out. Christmas movies, New Year's, Hallmark, all that, Lifetime. That was me this holiday season. So I'm ready to go this new year, and I'm excited to see what's ahead.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. So I just kind of chilled as well. So I celebrated the birthday shortly after Thanksgiving. So and also just went home with my parents, my sister, my niece, and my nephew. So I had to spend Christmas with them this year. Due to COVID last year, we didn't have a chance to spend Christmas together. So that was actually my first time in my life, like not being with my family for Christmas. So that was hard. So I was really excited to actually have the opportunity this year to, be with my family, and we just relaxed, just stayed in the house. I played with my niece and nephew, ate, got fat. I listened to a few books. So now I'm back, new year, I'm back in the gym. So we're trying to make it happen or whatever. But yeah, it was good. So like I said, just kind of relaxing, clearing your mind, preparing yourself for the next year. And so yeah, we here now, season 2 of Four Friends in the Book podcast. If you new to the Four Friends crew, you might not be familiar, but we got this segment that we always have, which we call the rant. So it's a time period where we have a discussion uninterrupted. Well, not even a discussion. We just let somebody speak from the heart. Uninterrupted. We're not debating. We're not contesting it. Just whatever it may be, whatever on your mind, what's on your heart. And we got none other than Mr. Rant Man. He back. Season 2. I know he coming hard. I know he coming stronger. Again, we never know what we getting. So my brother Isaiah back. Premiere rant for season 2. We just have a wheel. What you got for us, brother? Starting now. Go.
So millions watch wide receiver Antonio Brown of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a meltdown on the field. Come on, folks. AB has a problem that needs to be addressed. Wherever AB goes, he blames everyone except for himself. He is always the victim of his own and his own worst enemy. Tampa Bay actually took a chance on him when no other team in the NFL would. And every team that gave him an opportunity knew that he would explode at any moment. And AB got all these opportunities because he is a great football player. He's one of the best. And I understand that, because of this is AB and the reputation, that he has speaks for itself. But this still needs to be investigated, into his health or what made him trigger to actually walk off the field. And AB did not just handle this situation correctly. He never should have stormed off of the field and actually taken shots at his team. But this story sounds more like, it was more from the start. But many discounted, his truth and went straight to the CTE of his brain. Does he have it? He may. Let's face it, life is not fair. And what makes a man special is how he handles the situation, even if, things that gave him to him, unfair in his life. And I think that we can all learn something, from watching this situation, that instead of just placing judgment on him, let's just give him a little more grace. And that's that on that.
We all have to kind of be accountable for our actions, and we also need to make sure we're getting the help and the support that we need, whether it's from friends, family, coworkers, teammates, whatever it may be. So, yeah, good word, brother. Good word.
That's awesome.
All right, so 4 Friends in the Book podcast just wrapped up Will Smith's memoir, Will. And so, we read books every month. And again, we want you guys to follow with us. We want you guys to join in and read along with us. So even with that, Isaiah, tell them about the book we have coming up for next month.
Hey guys, before we let you go, we want you to join us in our next episode as we discuss Deacon King Kong by James McBride. This book is a New York Times bestseller, and it has made, multiple lists like Oprah's Book Club and one of President Barack Obama's favorite books. And now it's on the radar for 4 Friends in a Book, and you don't want to miss it. Laria, when can they tune in?
You guys can watch us every third Thursday of the month at 7 p.m. And we're on all social media. I'll let them tell you all of that, but mark your calendars, third Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, okay?
And you can find 4 Friends in a Book on Instagram and Facebook. So like and follow our pages and let us know how you're enjoying the show and interact with us on there.
Thank you, guys. And as always, we appreciate you guys joining and supporting us. Be on the lookout. We got some new things coming for season 2. We might even got some new content we might be putting out. So again, follow us on all of our social media platforms, on all the podcasting services. And again, if you guys have any inputs, comments, feedback, just hit us up. We want to hear from you guys. And as always, let's continue to read, let's learn, let's grow. Let's have a discussion here on 4 Friends in the Book. Thank you.
Bye.